Alrighty guys, what's going on everybody? Welcome back here to another live stream, my friends. I hope everyone is doing good out there. Glad to have y'all here for another update, my friends. So this is going to be the last update. I should say, no, tomorrow morning is probably going to be the last update regarding this upcoming system here for tomorrow. We got a big day tomorrow, my friends. We are going to be needing to be on top of this here. But anyways, folks, hope everyone is doing well. We're going to go ahead and jump on into it. First of all, let's go ahead and see who we got here tonight. We have Indiana. We have, let's see, Tabletop. We have Azen. We have Kelly. We have Raka, K-Jack. Let's see here. Railfan. April, Joseph. Tom, let's see, Roadster, Jim, Weather Watcher, Christian. What's up, guys? Hope everyone is doing well. So, as you guys can see here, we still have our enhanced risk at level 3 threat per SPC. We do officially have breakdowns now, so we can actually talk about the percentages and all that fun stuff. So, in this live stream, we are going to be going over pretty much everything you guys really need to know. We're going to talk about the timing. We're going to talk about really everything here, the ingredients that will be in place for this storm system. And also, we are going to be doing some personal forecasts at the end of this live stream. So, save y'all zip codes for later, because we'll be definitely doing a lot of those in order to help keep you guys weather aware, and that way we can kind of let you guys know one-on-one what kind of risk you might be in for. So anyways, folks, so yeah, right now we do have that enhanced risk here still. We're going to go ahead and bring up SPC. That's the first thing we're going to talk about here is the active risk. So one thing also I do want to say is not only is it going to be just severe weather, but there's also a really nasty flooding threat for tomorrow as well. So, on top of all this mess here with the severe weather for the tornadoes, hail, and damaging winds, we're also going to be dealing with a lot of flooding and whatnot too. So we'll get into that here also in a little bit. But anyways, let's see. Will I be live tomorrow? I will definitely be live tomorrow. Yes, for sure. What's up, Sonia? Hope you're doing good. What's up, Ponderosa? What's up, Scott? What's up, Hawk J? Hope you're doing good. What's up, Rob? Hope you're doing all right. But yeah, no, we'll probably we're going to cover the late night tomorrow. We're not going to cover the main part of the event, but we're going to cover the later night portion, for night shift and whatnot. So I'll definitely be up for, tomorrow night to do that coverage and stuff like that. Because we're going to need somebody that's going to be covering nighttime. As the storms go through the night, we're going to need people to, to be there for that. But anyways. Okay, so here's SPC. This is the latest outlook from the Storm Prediction Center. So we do have ourselves a level 3 still. So this is our enhanced risk. This is basically where the best shot for severe weather is going to be for tomorrow, which this does include areas of like northern Louisiana, southeastern Arkansas. Actually, did they extend that? It looks like they might have extended the enhanced north, didn't they? There's a lot of Mississippi, and this does include Memphis. So Memphis is now actually in that level 3 threat. You guys can see, they're just barely added into that. So that's new. I did not see that earlier today. But anyways, and then also portions here of like western Alabama, they did add here to that level 3 threat. So, like I mentioned, this is where the greatest probability of severe weather is going to be here overall. This is where, the most severe weather will likely occur, and also the strongest of the storms as well. So really, you guys have a shot for potential severe weather if you are across the dark green, the yellow, and the orange. Like I mentioned, there's a scale that goes from 1 to 5. The higher the number, the more potentially severe it could be, as well as the greater probability of severe weather. So once again, areas out here in the dark green, the yellow, and the orange is at risk for severe weather here for tomorrow. So if you guys are across these colors, make sure you all are prepping for the storms here, as severe weather is expected. Also, across the light green, you guys some of you guys might be wondering what the light green represents. That is the thunderstorm threat. So that means that we could still see some booms of thunder, or I guess you'd hear the booms of thunder, see maybe a little bit of lightning still. So storms are possible in the light green, although they're not expected to do anything crazy. They're not expected to be severe across the light green. So just want to go ahead and point that out there. Let's see here. I think we're going to see an expanded enhanced risk, or a small added moderate risk. I don't know about moderate, honestly. I mean, I'm not SPC. I can't tell for sure. I think as of now, we're probably just going to stay enhanced. I mean, we'll see. We'll definitely have to see. We'll do more of a model breakdown and kind of see how the models are, how they're doing and stuff here in a little bit. But we'll get more into that here in a little bit. Now, tornado probability. Now, unfortunately, we do have a hatch risk, which what that means is that there will be the possibility for significant tornadoes, which means that there could be, some strong tornadoes involved, potentially tornadoes EF2 or greater. So that really applies for the areas here in the yellow. So this is a 10% chance for tornadic activity for areas in southeastern Arkansas. So this is the greatest probability for tornadic activity. Also, this is where, we potentially could have some of those strong tornadoes. Once again, potentially EF2 or greater, which this does include areas here of like northern Louisiana, like southeastern Arkansas, pretty much like central and northern areas here in Mississippi. And like I said, they actually now included Memphis into that enhanced risk. Also, that 10% chance for tornadic activity. So, that is where the greatest probability for tornadoes is going to be, which is a 10% chance. So, for example, say you live, I don't know where this blue dot is. I know it's kind of hard to see. Say you live right here, okay? So, within a 25-mile radius, so within a circle, around you, within a 25-mile radius around you, there is a 10% chance that a tornado will drop somewhere within that region, okay? Somewhere within 25 miles of a radius around you. It's a 10% chance. So obviously, as you can tell, the odds are pretty low of you specifically getting impacted by a tornado. But, if you collectively add up all of the regions together, obviously there's going to be that shot for, the potential for several tornadoes. So that is what we're looking out for. And so just please be weather aware, because we are looking, at the environment here, which is definitely, or the environment, I should say, is definitely, in place. The environment is definitely capable, I should say, of producing tornadic activity, and once again, potentially strong activity here as well. So then we have ourselves the 5% chance here across the brown. Like I mentioned, this is, kind of the middle threat here for tomorrow here overall. So we'll definitely, also across the brown, definitely need to be looking out there for, the potential for a couple of tornadoes. Now, the areas in the dark green, the 2% chance here and the 5% chance here, this is where we could have, a couple of tornadoes, of course, but likely more weaker, not necessarily significant, not expected to be significant. So some of those tornadoes in this region will be maybe a little bit weaker as to compared to, some of the areas in that enhanced or, in that enhanced risk, that 10% SIG risk that we do have. So anyway, so that's our tornado probability. In terms of our wind, we do have a 30% risk for damaging winds. We're going to be mostly seeing the possibility here of damaging wind gusts ranging between 60 and 70 miles an hour. So on the storms, the gusts, the maximum winds on those storms, could be, producing some damaging winds between 60 and 70 miles an hour. This is a 30% chance here across the red. So this is a 30% chance of seeing damaging winds, once again, 60 to 70 miles an hour. So that, that's one of the main concerns, actually. That is the leading concern, actually, is going to be for damaging winds following, like I said, the tornado risk and over, everything like that. So, anyway, so yeah, 30% chance across the red. We do have ourselves a 15% chance here across, like I said, the yellow here, and a 5% chance here across the brown. So overall, like I mentioned, it's just probability based, but all of these areas here will be within a probability of seeing some of those damaging wind gusts ranging between 60 and 70 miles an hour here overall. So, anyways. So then moving our way over here into the hail threat. So we do have a 15% chance here for hail up here across like northern Louisiana, out here towards like southeastern Arkansas and whatnot. Also western Mississippi. This is a 15% chance here for hail, potentially ranging between 1 and 2 inches in diameter here overall. So it's a 15% chance, and of course we do have the 5% chance here as well across the brown. So this is just probability based, but pretty pretty much the same thing regarding hail is expected out there. Now, one thing I do want to mention here, so that's for Saturday. That's tomorrow. That's tomorrow, the big day. Actually, the SPC has issued a large level 1 severe weather threat for Sunday. So as that cold front advances its way here to the east, we will be seeing the shot for severe weather up across portions here of up from northern Florida, going through portions of Georgia, obviously the Carolinas, and southeast Virginia, even a little bit of southern Maryland there included too. In that level 1 severe weather threat here for Sunday. There is no breakdown right now, of course, regarding, tornadoes, damaging winds, and hail. No exact probability as of now. But this would most likely be the main concern of damaging winds and, maybe that small percent chance for tornadoes, maybe a 2% chance for tornadoes. I mean, we'll have to see how that pulls through tomorrow. But yeah, I want to let you guys know that Sunday there is a risk for severe weather. It's just a large marginal, so it's a lower end threat, but severe weather across the east here for Sunday is also going to be possible. Anyway, so yeah, then of course in the long range we have nothing really going on. So yeah, really only tomorrow is the, like I said, really only tomorrow is going to be the big day for all of that nastiness. Okay, so now I want to hop on over here into talk a little bit about flooding, because there's going to be a really, really nasty flooding threat here for tomorrow. We take a look here at our day 2. Oh, buddy. Would you look at that? They added a high risk for flooding now. I remember in the discussion they said that there would there would potentially be a high risk here. Goodness, look at that. Okay, so we have a level 4 out of 4, a high risk for flooding now in effect across northwestern Tennessee and southwestern Kentucky. So this includes some of the areas near like Bowling Green, Madisonville, and whatnot. That's going to be a really nasty threat here overall. Let's see. We got Matt coming in with a $20 super chat, man. Thank you so much, Matt. I appreciate that, dude. Saying, always glad to support a guy providing great information. Keep on doing it right. Matt, dude, thank you so much, man, for the 20. I appreciate that, dude. Huge thank you goes to Matt. Y'all in chat, please give Matt a big thank you. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you for helping us out. Absolutely crushing our goal. Thank you so much, dude. Matt, big thank you. I appreciate you. And once again, thank you so much, dude. That's really, really sweet of you. Greatly appreciated. Let's see here. Let me look at this chat here. Let's see here. What's crazy is going to snow and be in the negatives next week after the system. So, yeah, there's going to be a lot of, there is going to be a lot of colder air working its way down into the country here as well. So we're going to have to, definitely, expect that cold air coming on the backside as well. We'll look at that also here more in a little bit. Is my mic cutting out? See, Barbara says my mic's cutting out every few words. See, on my end, it doesn't show that it's cutting out. It just, it looks normal. I don't know. I'll look into it after stream. There's really not a lot I can do right now to fix that. Let's see here. Keith says, hey, buddy, how about the 30296 area weather looking? Because I want to make sure my mom and dad, let's see, be safe. Let me know, thanks. Yeah, of course. Let me look at that real quickly. 30296. We're gonna do more of those zip codes here in a little bit, so we're gonna hold off from most of those now. But real quickly, I will be more than happy to help. So let's actually look here at the day 2 outlook. So you, my friend, are actually they're actually in the marginal risk here, which is that level 1 threat. So it's a pretty low end threat here. For severe weather, just a level 1 threat. However, it will still be possible for a little bit of, severe weather, but it's a relatively low end risk here. So, obviously it would not hurt to keep an eye on the weather, but it's not going to be as crazy as those areas here to the west overall. Let's see here. Sam, dude. Thank you so much, Sam WX, for the Tropical Storm membership. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. Welcome aboard, my friend. Thank you. Let's see here. It appears that the southern part of the line will be less dangerous than originally forecasted. Kelly, we'll do more of a we'll dive into that here in a little bit. I really do want to look at the models and stuff with that. Or do want to look at the models and stuff with you guys. So we'll get into that here. But anyways, let's hop back to flooding real quickly. Let's go ahead and hop on back here. But yeah, they did add that high risk here. That's just crazy. That's crazy. I mean, I remember like I said, I remember they just said it in the discussion that there would be, possibly a high risk, but it's official now. It's official. So we do have a high risk for flooding. Once again, northwestern Tennessee, western Kentucky. Once again, you guys, there is a big threat out there, for flooding. So obviously make sure you guys are remaining weather aware across those regions. And if you're in a low-lying spot that's prone to flooding, please make sure that you are, looking out there for that. Also the moderate, even the moderate, the level 3 out of 4 flooding threat, it covers a large area here. Some of these regions here, as we're going to see in the models here, actually suggests that we could be seeing anywhere from like 3 to 5 inches or more potentially, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, so across the red here, like northeastern Arkansas, portions of like extreme southeastern Missouri, southern Illinois, southern Indiana, even southern Ohio and western West Virginia, a lot of Kentucky included too, is going to be in for a serious flooding threat as well. That's a big threat. That's a level 3 out of 4 flooding threat. So, a big shot for flooding out there as well. Then we have the yellow. This is at least a 15% chance for flooding across the yellow here. And, of course, at least a 5% chance across the green. So, the green is relatively low in flooding threat. But you can see that we gradually do increase more the closer we do get towards, like Kentucky, Tennessee. Yeah, a lot of these regions here have really got to be looking out there for that flooding threat. But, like I mentioned, flooding is going to be possible anywhere in any of these colors here, with the greatest concern being across the areas here, really in the red and the pink, of course. So please be careful. And once again, if you're in a low-lying area here, this is something you guys really do need to look out and definitely look for overall. Let's see here. Keith says, thank you, buddy. Got it. I sure will. You're awesome. Thanks, Keith. I appreciate that, man. And you're very, very welcome. No problem. Let's see here. But yeah, so, once again, flooding's not going to, severe weather's not going to be the only concern here, with this system. All right, let's go and take a look at the models. I'm curious to see kind of what we got going on here. So let's go ahead and bring the models over. I'm not going to change scenes. I'm going to bring them over here. So let's take a look. We actually do have the Zero Zulu HRRR, which is the latest long run of the HRRR here. So why is this window so wide? Hold on. All right, there we go. What is that? Is that good enough? Maybe up a little bit. All right, there we go. That's good enough. Anyways, actually, there we go. Perfect. Okay, good. So yeah, we're going to hop over here to the Zero Zulu. This is the latest long-range HRRR run we do have. So as we can see, pretty much from here on out, what's going to start happening, from here on out, like I said, is we're going to start to get a lot of that warm air, moisture-filled air, working its way up here into the southern country. So this is going to be a lot of that warm, moisture-filled air working its way up here into the region, supplying a lot of that moisture and whatnot for these storms that, is set to kick off here for tomorrow. Here for tonight, a little bit of showers and stuff across, the south will be, possible. But, of course, as we do approach our way here kind of for the afternoon here for tomorrow, that's when that line is really going to start to materialize. Overall. And you guys can see, around this time, this is 20 Zulu, which this is in the afternoon here. Around this time, the HRRR does not really suggest much of any prefrontal storms, which is a good thing. So the problem is that if we do get a lot of those storms ahead of the line that, develop and mature, those are the ones that could really, really be problematic if it did occur. But according to the HRRR here on the latest run, I do not see any really prefrontal storms. There's some showers, but not full-fledged, supercells that are really developing according to this model. So we work our way a little bit further down in time into the evening hours here. It really looks like this evening, tomorrow evening is whenever this is really going to start to come into play here. This is right around Zero Zulu, which this is, what would that be, 8, or is that 7 p.m. Eastern? I get my conversions messed up, especially with the time change and stuff. I think that's like 7. It's sometime in the the later evening, right around sunset and whatnot. Anyways, so yeah, with all that going on here, the storms will be starting to really pick up tomorrow evening here. You can see, and then potentially, some of those damaging winds and stuff like that starting to occur right around this time. And unfortunately, this event here is going to be a nocturnal event, which means, nocturnal, the definition is active at night, or just, active at night. So this event here is going to be a big problem because, first of all, of the risk itself, but also because of the fact that this is going to be happening at nighttime. As we approach here right around midnight Eastern time, you guys can see here that, we're going to be having this long squall line, this huge line of storms here, that's going to be producing that possibility here of those damaging winds. Like we mentioned tomorrow on the risk here, those damaging winds are going to be capable, or those storms are going to be capable of producing damaging winds ranging between 60 and 70 miles an hour. So we could have tropical storm, almost hurricane force wind gusts, with these storms here for tomorrow. Once again, that's going to be kind of the main concern. As we did look at, we do have that 30% chance for, damaging wind gusts. But also there's going to be, of course, that tornado threat as well. Now, the problem is with tornadoes, like I mentioned, the problem with tornadoes here, first of all, once again, it's nighttime, right? It's at nighttime. That's obviously dangerous, because you can't see any severe weather or anything like that. So please don't wait to see or hear the severe weather before you take action. If you're in any form of warning tomorrow, severe thunderstorm warning or tornado warning, make sure you take, make sure you take action, as soon as you get the warning. Do not wait to see or hear the severe weather. But anyways, so yeah, that's one of the problems, being at nighttime, getting the severe weather, but also the tornadoes that we do get, some of those will be, or most of those will be developing more than likely inside of this line, which unfortunately means that they could potentially be rain wrapped, basically meaning here overall that, there's these curtains of rain that wrap around these tornadoes, making it even more difficult to see. Even during the daytime, a rain wrapped tornado is like impossible to see. And with that being at night, it just makes it where you cannot see anything. So once again, just please be careful and make sure that you are, just taking action based off of the warnings that do come through. Okay. What's up, Jared? Hope you're doing good. Let's see here. Roadster says everyone in the area needs to have weather alerts enabled. Absolutely. Best is battery powered, no weather radio for alerts. Yeah. You guys can get those at like Walmart or whatever. You guys can go and pick up a weather radio. I think they're like $20-$30 or so last time I checked, but they could be life-saving, dude. They really could be. So go. I think you can order them on Amazon too. I would highly recommend having one of those guys because it could be life-saving. Making sure that you guys do get those warnings and whatnot. Most cell phones and stuff too do have that, that function automatically built in. But I know a lot of people turn them off. So just make sure that setting's turned on. That way you do receive like tornado warnings and severe thunderstorm warnings and stuff like that whenever, they do come through. Just that is very important, is receiving the warnings. Now, I do have a little bit of homework I do want you guys to do tonight. Obviously, make sure that you guys know where to go. Okay, so I want you guys to think about this. Make sure you guys know where to go in case if there is a, tornado warning or something like that issued for your location. You got to think, where are you going to go? Obviously, if you have a storm cellar or a basement, there you go. That's where you want to go. If you do not, the central interior portion of your home, such as a bathroom or a closet, would be a good choice. Obviously it's central and lowest floor possible. But if you're in a mobile home or a trailer, you cannot be in a mobile home or a trailer during these storms. It will provide you no protection. So at that point, you got to find where would you go to if there was a warning. At that point, you'd have to go out and find a sturdier structure. Anyways, so yeah, make sure you guys know where to go tomorrow. Once again, make sure you guys know where to go. And another thing I do want to say here is that, if you can bring your important documents and stuff like that to your safe spot, I'd recommend doing that tonight. Bring important documents, like birth certificate, social security, whatever, to your safe spot, insurance papers. Bring that to your safe spot. And obviously bring, maybe even some water, some food, optional, even a helmet could be pretty good. I mean, you got to think, say if worst case scenario does happen, which once again, this is relative for one of you guys to get this, it's relatively low probability, but say, prepping for the worst case scenario, having a helmet could be very good, pair of shoes, first aid kit, flashlight with extra batteries, put that stuff in your safe spot. Do that tonight. That way, if there is a warning that gets issued tomorrow, you guys can go to your spot and you'll already have all of your stuff together. Prepping beforehand is key. It is very important that you guys prep beforehand and whatnot. So, that's your homework tonight. I want to make sure that. Also, another thing I do want to tell you guys too, in order for prepping and stuff, is since tomorrow, the main concern is going to be damaging winds, and because of that, since we do have that big 30% chance here for damaging winds, as you guys can see. There is going to be, the threat for damaging winds. Once again, 60, 70 miles an hour possible on some of those storms, in which, loose objects outside could easily go airborne and get blown away, which obviously you could lose your property, but it could also pose a hazard to others. So another thing I want you to do before the event happens is if you have anything loose outside, even lawn furniture or whatnot, bring that inside. Okay, bring it inside, anything loose outside, just until that line of storms rolls through. Because the good news is that once that line pushes through you guys, once that long line of storms goes over you, on the backside, the atmosphere stabilizes, in which, the potential for severe weather just basically goes out the window, which is good. So until that line is past you, then you can put your stuff back out there, okay? So I just want you guys to, just think of stuff like that. Once again, know where to go. Put your stuff in your, in your shelter. Obviously, if you need to go, to your safe spot, then everything will be there and ready for you. And on top of that, bring anything that's loose outside or indoors. Okay, and just until that line goes through, and then once the line passes through you guys, then you'll be good. Alrighty. Like I said, just trying to help you guys out, just trying to, let you all know some of the things that you guys should do. Let's see here. Misty says, do I think there's going to be any destructive severe thunderstorm warnings? Considering the fact that we're going to see the possibility for 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts, wouldn't be surprised if there was. Wouldn't be surprised. Let's see here. Sam says, did the NWS team rate those two significant tornadoes? I did not see. I did not see anything on that. I'm not too sure, to be honest with you. I haven't seen anything on it quite yet. Let's see here. Misty says, let's watch for a moderate. We'll see. We'll have to see. Honestly, let's hop back to the models here. I do want to take a look. Guys, we're also going to do our zip codes here in a little bit, okay? We're not doing zip codes quite yet, but we'll definitely do those here in a bit, because we'll definitely do those personal forecasts for you guys. So yeah, don't worry, we'll get to those. We'll definitely get to those at some point. But anyway, so yeah, so this was the HRRR. With the timing, it really shows everything come together pretty much for tomorrow evening. Tomorrow evening, that's whenever the the big part of the event is going to occur tomorrow evening. So that's when we're going to really start to see the activity, kick off here. So the good news is that, from what I'm seeing here, at least from the HRRR, the latest Zero Zulu run, the good news is that we're not seeing many prefrontal storms or any cells developing ahead of the line. Once again, that would be much more of an issue if there was. Those individual cells kind of have their own little environment to themselves, which allows them to mature and materialize into some really strong storms. But thankfully, we do not. At least, I'm not saying it won't actually occur, but at least from the guidance here from the latest HRRR, it doesn't really show much prefrontals. I mean, maybe a little bit across like Louisiana in the beginning of the event. But, for the most of the event, it looks like it's just going to be that main line that rolls through here. So, but yeah, once again, the main leading thing I think is going to be obviously damaging winds, and of course, some of those, embedded, tornadoes, overall. So that's that. Let's go ahead and hop over to NAM. Actually, let's look at the NAM. We're gonna dive more into the, analysis here. So it does seem like the models here, since we've been tracking this in the beginning, it does seem like a little uptrend in instability has occurred, meaning that there potentially could be just a little bit more fuel in the atmosphere than what previous assessments thought. So now it seems like the models like NAM here, for example, is, expecting around 1,000 joules per kilogram of instability, which, I know a lot of you guys probably don't know what that means, but that's, like I said, the fuel, the instability, the fuel basically in the atmosphere, in which, 1,000 is obviously enough to get stuff done. Okay, I'm just going to say that. Yes, it is enough to get storms really organized and going and, severe and whatnot. So, yeah, it is enough. Is it the most in the world? Of course not. But, yes, there is enough instability to allow for those nasty storms to occur. Now, looking at the lower level jet, this is actually one of the most concerning things here, is just how strong these winds are going to be in our lower atmosphere. This is roughly about 4,000 or 5,000 feet up or so, and those winds are screaming to the northeast here at right around 60 knots or so. That would be roughly about like 65, maybe towards 70 miles an hour. I'm not entirely too sure of the direct conversion there. But yeah, you can see that we do have, a really strong lower level jet, which is crucial for tornadic development. Having a strong lower level wind shear is very important for tornadoes to occur. And I want you guys to also pay attention on the wind direction here. You notice how it's going, mostly to the northeast. Looking at our mid atmosphere, you guys can kind of see that the wind direction ever so slightly changes a little bit more to the northeast. So with that being said, you guys can see that there's a slight change in wind direction as you gain altitude, but there's also, like I mentioned, an increase in wind speed as well, right around 65, 70 knots or so in our mid-atmosphere. So not only are the winds slightly changing directions as we go up in altitude, but they're increasing in wind speed here as well, which creates what we call a veering wind shear pattern, which basically means that, with any of those storms that do develop, there could be some rotation, that could occur. Basically due to that wind directional change and the increase in wind speed, can create an environment for rotating thunderstorms in which, tornadoes inside of that line that develop, could be a concern, which obviously will be a concern for tomorrow. So wind shear, the amount of winds that's in the atmosphere is very strong. Like I said, instability here, it's not the most in the world, but it's enough to get the job done. And then another thing I do want to look at is that moisture. Looking at our dew points here, that moisture advection, all of that really warm and moisture-filled air that's working its way up here into the country. I mean, you can see these dew points here, in the 60s and whatnot. Those dew points are going to be pretty good. Obviously mid-upper 60 dew points here is indicating that there is, a lot of moisture advection and whatnot. Temperatures not super far off from those dew points either. So a little bit of a fun fact, the closer that your dew point is to your temperature, the higher the humidity. So, considering the fact that the temperature here is, almost at, really close to that dew point level. That is indicating that there is, a pretty good amount of moisture and, water vapor that will be present in these storms, which is very, very important for thunderstorms. So, with that being said, we have a lot of instability, Not the most in the world, of course, but it's enough to get things done. Really, really strong winds in both our lower and our upper atmosphere. So, once again, we're changing directions and also increasing in wind speed as we go up in altitude. So that creates that potential rotating atmosphere for some of the storms that could go tornadic. So wind shear's there, the moisture's there too, as well as, like I said, the instability. So that's really the three main ingredients. The fourth main ingredient is what we call lift. Basically just getting that warm air from the ground level up into the atmosphere, but that's not going to be a problem because we have this cold front. That cold front is your source of lift, essentially. But anyways, so that's that. Hopefully that makes sense to some of you guys here. Obviously, hopefully that makes sense to y'all. But that's just kind of what the atmosphere looks at like tomorrow. It definitely does look pretty,